So I welcome all of you in this sixth time series, the Inclusive Juggling Symposium. And I would like to present only in some words what is behind of these meetings, because we have a small project with 4 partners and financed by the European Erasmus Plus educational project. So it's important that you know that they are these nice guys at Erasmus Plus who makes possible that we are just sitting here and can enjoy our company, and they pay all the costs which are there. So we love them. Please love them as well. And I also encourage you to apply for Erasmus projects, because we run quite many of them, and it's a great opportunity to get financement for your learning goals. So maybe whenever you are interested in it, I'm happy to help you and give some hints. But believe me, if you want to make networks in Europe and realize your beautiful projects you are doing anyway, this program is really there to help you and cover the cost. And we are like the 4 partners. The coordinator of the project is Marc from Kulturbühne from Germany. We have Odskoczina. I'm sorry for my Polish pronunciation is still not the best, Paulina. I don't see any of our Italian partner, anybody, maybe Alice, but we have Circo Tascabile from Italy, and who is actually in collaboration with Quat Props Italia. And in Hungary, the Hungarian Juggling Association. Ooh. And throughout this 1 year, we had the opportunity of this beautiful Erasmus Plus money to organize already trainings in Hungary and also in Poland, which were like led by our international trainers. Also, we could have the first Hungarian inclusive juggling convention, and the first Italian convention happened as well. There were like dozens of people doing for like 72 hours crazy functional inclusive juggling circus things together. So I think this is also a big step in the history. And now this is the last part of the project, which was a little bit of a present, you know, to all of you, so that not only the four partners are enjoying the project, but also anybody else who want to join. And we use it for this networking opportunity, which is mainly like really, as Bendagus and also Craig said, that it's like a very informal way. It's not about like giving big speeches, but it's more likely about talking each other. So we try to have interesting guests for you who are all the time, each of the time presenting their projects. But at the same time, we're gonna use the breakout rooms, and where you can just fly freely and you can talk to anybody you're interested in. So now I give the floor to our beloved Craig, who is going to be the MC and the host of these occasions, and who is like really behind of all these concepts. So please, Craig, take the floor and use the opportunity that our mind gets blown. And enjoy all of the whatever you feel, just enjoy and be open and feel free to participate. Thank you. Craig, it's yours.
Thanks. Yeah, this is a pretty exciting experience for me. For those of you who know like the history and development of the project, you know that it's really been about like collaboration and sharing is sort of how I got to where I am and got to meet all of you. And I feel that we developed a lot of resources over the pandemic. We have a book, we have online seminar materials. So like the information is really starting to spread a lot now. And also over the years, I've managed to really help and support people like Veronika, Marc, Circ Barcelona, some of the people who are going to be presenting throughout the symposium. And now I see that the next logical step is just to allow other people to recreate the same process that I had. So I need to allow you guys to come together and share your ideas and collaborate and network and grow. I think that's an idea I got from growing up in the American Youth Circus organization and their culture. They're really big on that. And that's basically how we got here. And that's why I think we should be sharing these meetings together. Today's presentations, I started off with, let me take a step back. This idea of like functional juggling is a concept of inclusion. And functional juggling, the Quat Props thing, has created sort of a cultural movement that allowed us to consolidate a lot of conversations and people who are interested in inclusion. And now that we have that conversation and we've achieved this consolidation through this idea of functional juggling, I see this conversation broadening now. So throughout these 6 weeks, you're going to see a variety of presenters. Some of them are not working with the functional juggling in the way that I am, or the Quat Props community is, but they're working with inclusion. So for day one, I wanted to bring 2 guests that were sort of representing, that we can call it the classical way now, or the traditional. They're really emblematic people who are completely on their own. I've never actually met either of these groups in person. They contacted me a few years back. We shared ideas, and since then they've been developing on their own. So I think they're 2 good models to show how other people can imitate and grow themselves. And yeah, they're going to share today. When we get to the breakout rooms, I want people to know that there's no real expectation. It's really like trying to imagine like we're getting together at a bar and just talking about circus stuff, right? And what else? And before we go into the breakout rooms, if anyone else has any topics or projects that you just want to share, news, updates, like, or if you come in following weeks, you can do that before we go to the breakout rooms. If you have something to share, please share it. And we can make it even a topic of discussion. That's why you're here. That's why we're here. So let's get started with the first presenter, Marc Bielert from Halle, Germany.
So, hello everyone. I'm actually a bit, not really nervous, but like a tiny little bit, because this is kind of a new format for me. So I was tasked to more speak about the current projects we are doing and the near future development. So to get this a little bit more focused for myself, I made like not really a presentation, but I have some screen share. I hope everyone is seeing it. So it's basically just for me to not get lost and not take too long and stay in the supposed time. Okay, so I'm from Germany. I'm working for now, let's say, 15, 20 years in circus-related fields. I was for a long time an artist and was trained as a juggler. So once I started looking into more pedagogy work, I was naturally driven towards the functional juggling once I discovered it. And I think I started around 2017, just trying stuff out for myself, and later contacted Craig. And from there on, we started a very own way of doing things, I would say, at least in the beginning, because I never met Craig. So I was basically doing the first years on my own and just trying to understand what was out there. And the current projects we are doing is currently heavily focused on early childhood. So we do a lot of projects in kindergartens. And this is kind of interesting because this started to get really diversified, I would say. So at the beginning, we had mostly movement-related skill development. So for that, we obviously used functional juggling. We used in the beginning the main props like the juggle board and the Newton, and started also our own prop development, so to get better versions, or in the case of the Newton, any version at all, because as you most likely are aware, there's nothing to buy, so you have to build it on your own. But over time, we get tasks from the kindergartens we worked with because they seen that the way we did the projects worked really well. So we started with the age of 4 to 6 years, and later go even down to, I think the youngest was 1.5 years. So this was something that really surprised them, that it's possible to work in this way. And they tasked us now to use also our experience and the methods we have to also develop speech-related skills. And we are starting to doing this. So we started also using the functional juggling props, mainly like the juggle board and the Newton, and are currently trying to experiment with different ideas, how we can incorporate speech development into this, because this is a huge thing here. We have in the kindergarten we work mostly with, we have like 90% of migrants, so this is really huge. Like language issues is like the big topic there, so language development. So yes, and beside this, we started also looking into cognitive related skill development. So not only speech and movement, but also because we was tasked basically to see if we can do the now popular MINT set, like the mathematics, informatics, and so on, technical skill development in the early childhood development. So, and this is kind of interesting. We started developing this, so we have a lot of ideas, and we base this basically on the way we also do the projects with the, I would say, classical functional juggling stuff. And this is interesting for me because during this development, we started to realize that for us, at least, it's very interesting to use the functional juggling like as a base. And we see, okay, we can use the same like ideas for different circus disciplines. So, and when I talk about like the same ideas, I mean exactly like that you don't train for presenting stuff in the end, but for an individual development, basically. Like that's the main difference we make there. So yeah, this is like the projects we do in the early childhood, and we currently looking, this is projects that we want to do in 2023, so next year. We are looking into work with elderly care. I got like contacted from a Greek student who will join us next year through an Erasmus exchange program. And he's really interested into working with elderly people. So we will most likely, like that's the current plan, starting with a mix of functional juggling and the spin poi method from Kate van Riegel. To get like kind of foot into this work and like get a foot into the elderly care centers, because that's like the main issue for us to make like the first step and get accepted there. So we will see how this turned out, but I'm really excited about what might happen there. And then we also have currently 4 planned week-long projects with disabled kids, where we mostly use a mix of social circus and functional juggling methods. We did a couple years ago 2-3 projects like that, and we basically tried a method to have like a couple of trainers using or managing the group, and one trainer is always free to do a one-on-one personal skill development with the individual kids. And this turned out to be really great because we could have both of two worlds. We could have like the classical circus projects people are expecting, but also could dive into really working with the functional juggling approach when you look at it from a one-to-one facilitation point of view. So this is like the, I would say, everyday projects we are doing or currently planning to do. And beside this, we have some more networking plans going on right now, or it's basically already started. And I call this personally the Functional Circus Network. It's based basically on the idea I mentioned earlier that I see like the potential to use these core ideas of the functional juggling method in a way broader range. So for now, we focus mainly on the circus techniques like aerials, acrobatics, and so on. And basically try to apply the same mindset on this and see where it goes. And for the network itself, I've made this is basically a not a presentation, this is like a mind map I did for actually getting into the projects, and we are currently getting some kind of coaching, how we actually will apply this in the future. So this is just taken out from there. So the main idea I'm currently viewing there is it's not meant to be a hierarchical, like a top-down thing, even it looks like this, but it's mainly more to get a structure for certain communities. So for now, we don't have really a functional juggling community in Germany. It's basically just loosely organized. And we've seen the development Quat Props Italy is doing and wanted to basically recreate the same thing in Germany. And during the initial stages of planning this, we realized that there's so much potential out there that at least for Europe for now, it would be really great to have like a network that incorporates all of them. So this is one thing we are working currently and through the next years to get in place. It's more like a network thing. So we want to provide like these kind of technical solutions, like having a platform, like an internet platform, like a website, a forum, stuff like this to connect. But it's also, I think, about a certain mindset, so that we kind of organize together, share things, and also make things more broad. So it's not only quad props, but there's so many potential out there that we want to try to gather them together in Europe. I personally can even imagine this going a step further and have this international, but I was convinced from my partners that I should not shoot too high in the beginning and just start with the Germany thing and then maybe the European thing, and then let's see where we go. So this is like the second big topic I'm currently working on. And then for the last years, I was doing prop development. So I have a nice little picture here. This is like the props I not developed because it's obviously development is from Craig, but I changed a lot of things. I started getting interested in CNC approach, like using CNC machines to produce the props myself. And I started with the juggle board, which was quite easy. But once we got to the Newton, it was quite interesting because there was no really a cool idea how to build the prop in a way that it's not only accessible for the audience, but also accessible for myself as a trainer. So I have to move it around and get it maybe in a little car. So we started developing these kind of props, and the version you've seen there on the right, it's really cool because we can pull it apart and put it in a really small car, lots of them. So this was a very cool big step for us. And currently the plan is for the next year to revisit the current things we have for the juggle board and the single lane juggle boards, we call them tracks, and the Newton. These files basically are open source, so they are available, at least the juggle board currently is available on the Quat Props website. And I hope that during the next year, the Newton also will become available. The main issue for me was it was so complicated. I think the Newton itself was built from 50 or more different pieces that had to be cut out. So it was not so easy to prepare an easy document where people can just jump in and do it without a lot of instruction. So we will basically try to polish this in a way that people can just recreate these. And after our last meeting at the Functional Juggling Convention in Italy, we also said, okay, there's this cool new thing with the half pipes, so we want definitely doing a version of on our own open source also. And for a long time, I was also interested in the domino board, especially for working with the disabled children. So we have basically, these are the current plans for the next year to produce these and make the result or the files to do this on your own openly available. And last thing is that we currently starting development on teacher training. So we are already doing the original Quat Props teacher training in Germany. So we have both versions, like the in-person version, it's a 5-day workshop thing where you get certified, and an online version that's based on Craig's model that he came out with now. And then we're currently trying to find a way to also incorporate a lot of things that not exactly fit into the Quat Props thing. So it's not appropriate to do this during an original Quat Props training. So we're also thinking about doing like a functional circus teacher training, which basically covers all the other things that we found to make it just more open. Yeah, so that's like an overview of the stuff I am doing right now. And if anything of this is interesting for you, or you have things to share about this, then I'm happily awaiting you in the breakout room.
Great, thanks a lot, Marc. Wow, that's impressive. Marc's got his hands in a lot of areas. Yeah, it's just like, thank you. Yeah, so if you're interested in any of those things, you can go in the breakout room with Marc. He has a lot of information about like prop production, early childhood development, also grant funding, and how to like communicate the ideas we have with people like Erasmus Plus, things like that. Thank you so much, Marc. Circo Barcelona, are you ready? I don't know how to do an introduction. Similar situation. Never met these people in person. I know Nuri. Nuri's on their team. She's from Argentina. We met in Argentina. But the rest of these people never met in person. Just shared some ideas, and now they're going to tell you what they did with those ideas.
Sí, ya podemos. Sí. Hola, buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Muchísimas gracias por invitarnos. Nosotras somos CircA, una asociación de artistas de Barcelona. Yo soy Pablo, mucho gusto.
Yo soy Juli.
Charles.
Yo soy Nuria.
I try in English.
Yes, if you want.
Yeah, we are CircA. We are CircA Artist Association. We are from Barcelona, but we live in Barcelona, but we are from Uruguay and Argentina too. Okay, perfect. We start with the slides, okay? CircA, Asociación de Artistas, presenta malabares modulares. Los malabares modulares nacen inspirados en el proyecto de malabarismo funcional de Craig Quat y Quat Props.
Modular juggling was more inspired by the functional juggling project by Craig Quat and Quat Props, obviously.
En CircA creamos un innovador proyecto social de juegos originales, dinámicos, inclusivos y colaborativos con vocación de rehabilitación a través del juego y adaptarse a todas las personas y todos los espacios.
At CircA, we created an innovative and original social project, dynamic, inclusive, and collaborative games with an intention for rehabilitation through playing and adapting for all people and all spaces.
El malabarismo es un juego y jugar un derecho de todas las personas.
Juggling is a game and playing is a right for all the people.
That's us. Again.
Inspirados en los juegos de Quat Props, hemos creado nuestros propios módulos para poder seguir desarrollando nuevas formas de jugar, de pensar, de actuar, cada vez más inclusivas.
Okay, inspired by Quat Props games, we have created our own modules to continue developing new ways of playing, thinking, and being increasingly inclusive. Us?
CircA, Asociación de Artistas. Ok, ven de vídeo.
Then, so we have to dejar de compartir.
Ok, hay que dejar de compartir.
Yeah.
Ahí arriba.
Sí, pero no veo la flechita.
Now we are going to see a video of us playing with some people and playing with the staff with the modular juggling.
Sí, bueno, esta fue nuestra humilde presentación. Como podrán ver, nosotras en CircA no tenemos ningún tipo de máquina que nos pueda imprimir alguna de estas tablas que nos acaba de mostrar el amigo en Alemania, que están muy hermosas. Nosotros los juguetes los construimos todos a mano, y ahora vamos a hacer una pequeña muestra de las cosas que tenemos de los juguetes que hemos creado nosotros, ya que estamos hablando de malabarismo funcional y de Quat Props. Ya saben, o sea, se ha visto en el vídeo que tenemos un montón de juegos que son de Quat Props, y luego tendremos algunos, ahora mostraremos algunos que son de diseño nuestro. ¿Vale? Sí.
Okay, we don't have a 3D printer, but here in Circa we create with some stuff with tubes, our own creation, and of course a lot of patience with the passion of Craig Quat Props. Okay, so now we are going to show you some of them. Okay, and we are going to play and show how it works. You could see some of them in the video, and now we are going to.
Pero sí que nos vamos a mover a tu.
Okay, now please, we are going to move to my camera. Now you see me in Circa. Okay. Perfect. Bueno, Pablo was saying that.
Ok. El primer juego que hemos hecho, en realidad no es el juego, sino que es una adaptación que hemos hecho de la Juggling Board, y le hemos puesto la burra board, porque aquí se le llama burra a la estructura, digamos, donde se juegan los vestuarios de los artistas. Lo que sería un perchero en nuestro país, aquí se le llama burra, y por eso le hemos puesto el nombre de burra board.
Okay, so this is an adaptation of the Juggling Board. The name is burra board because here the burra is where you can hang your clothes. The artist can hang their clothes, okay? So, well, we are going to first show something that we have a lot of games, but we have very little time, so we are going to show, okay? Okay, first of all, then. For example, Juli, come here. Now it's Juli. Sit down, please. Vamos a ver primero este. Okay. Okay, that's one of the amount of games that we have with this. We can be all night long, but okay, we are going to show you the second one. That is a full creation of Circa.
The second one, la segunda es inspirada en una estructura para hacer ejercicios de karate. A ver.
The second one is inspired.
Estamos moviendo todo.
Okay.
Sí, pero estamos moviendo todo.
The second one is inspired in the structure of karate exercises, you know?
También esto es creación de CircA, creación artesanal. Bueno, como podemos ver, la dificultad va aumentando a medida que Charlie le va agregando tubos a la estructura. Ahí ya le agrega el tercero. Muy bueno. Diferentes formas de jugar.
Okay. Cuarta, tercera. Perfect. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Perfecto. Bueno, aquí ahora nos quedamos. Este es nuestro segundo juego. Es que nos hemos ido moviendo todo, ¿no? Hemos ido moviendo toda la estructura porque pensábamos hacerlo con el teléfono, ahora lo estamos haciendo desde el ordenador. Esta es otra creación de CircA. Al final es una barra de hierro, es sencillo, con unas bolas colgando, pero tiene una función hermosa que es juntar gente, hacer malabarismo funcional. ¿Yo sigo hablando? No, es que yo no quiero hablar porque me enrollo mucho. Entonces,
Solo mostrar.
Show it.
aquí, lanzamos la bola. Sí, una bola. Ahora rápido. Pasame la segunda.
¿No? Perdón. ¿Segunda?
Sí.
Bien.
Le podemos agregar una segunda bola, ya tiene otra dificultad y se puede sentar otra persona adelante, por supuesto. ¿Allá? Vamos. 1, 2.
Okay, you can add a new wall or a new person too. Choose us to play. Okay, wait.
Y ahora le haremos un poco más difícil.
Now increase the difficulty by adding a new wall.
Por el mismo lado. Todos estos juegos están subvencionados todos por CircA también. No tenemos partners. A ver, 1, 2, va. Esa. Ok, este es otro juego de CircA que es muy sencillo, pero también es muy jugable. A los niños les gusta mucho, también se puede jugar de a 3 personas.
Okay, this is a very simple and very effective game for children. They like to play a lot with 3 people too. And now Pablo is going to show us how to play alone with 3 balls. Okay.
Ok. Este es otro de los juegos que teníamos para mostrar. Y ahora vamos a mostrar un juego más, que este juego lo inventamos la última vez en la última actividad que tuvimos. No me dejen sola.
No.
Lo tiramos para atrás. Sola. En la última actividad que hicimos, por supuesto, nosotros siempre estamos intentando ver mucho lo de diseño intencional, ¿verdad? Entonces, en la última actividad que hicimos nos dimos cuenta de que había gente que todavía, incluso con la cantidad de juegos que tenemos, que todavía no podía jugar por sus limitaciones, por sus capacidades, ¿no?
Can I?
Okay.
I translate. Okay, this last game was inspired in some people that we played with in our last visit to a therapy occupational center, that they even could use their hands and their foot or feet. So we were inspired by them because they only could use their hair. You can watch it in the video that he was a man, he was using like a helmet with a stick. So with that, so we are always watching these things and so for creating new stuff. So he was inspired by him, and he made this beautiful new toy for playing with our heads, with our mouth. And Charles and I are going to play with it, okay? Okay.
Again, yeah.
Ahí estamos jugando a espacio y color, situación del molino y color, pero con un simple movimiento cambiamos de colores, los colores los cambiamos de sitio y hacemos trabajar más a las personas que están jugando.
Okay, now we are changing colors, but the thing is to follow the colors and the space, different spaces.
Okay. Ahora es...
Mi amigos, tiempo necesitamos para. Es muy bonita. Jugamos todo el día contigo, seguro. You have such beautiful toys. Thank you for sharing. This is okay. It goes long, but is really enjoyable. So thank you. But I want to make sure we have time for some conversation. Now we only have 30 minutes, but we can start the breakout rooms. Marc is going to have one, and CircA De Artistas is going to have another, and Veronika, you will be hosting one as well, right? For the Erasmus Plus.
Yeah, I mean, it can be either room for just like for very flexible chatting with each other. And also if you have any kind of question of this Erasmus Plus, how to run an Erasmus Plus project or create these kind of things, then I can also help you there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so these Marc and CircA, these are experienced people. They have developed their own materials. So any question that you would have for me, you can ask them as well.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
And how was it? How was the experience? A little bit short, I think, the conversation. I would like to have more time. Maybe we can plan 2 hours. We'll talk about this. Raise your hand if you think it should be longer. Do we have more time? I think next week we're going to say 2 hours. We'll put it in the email, up to 2 hours, but people can come and go. Because I feel like the conversations were just getting started, right?
Yeah, I also think it might be interesting to maybe extend this like a little bit for the next symposiums. I mean, it really depends on how many people join the conversation. So sometimes just a little bit of question, sometimes it's a lot, but there's always the opportunity to join the other rooms. I think like for us, I think it was okay, but it already felt like, oh wow, okay, it's over. So already like a small time frame, so maybe like 10-15 minutes more would be cool. So, but we can discuss this with Veronika also later.
Yeah. I think we need to make a hard start for the breakout rooms for next week. Like if we want to have 30 minutes, then we should say at this exact time the breakout rooms are started. And I'll wrangle the presenters more.
Yeah,
so
but
we have that time.
We had 25 minutes right now, so it
really that went so fast.
25 minutes, yeah. Yeah, but I was visiting all the breakout rooms and all of them had really, really intense life. So it would be also nice to have time for switching the rooms because it's also interesting. Yeah, okay.
I changed rooms too, and it was really nice because I saw, you know, Marc's room was a little bit smaller, but the conversation was like a lot more focused. And then Circ Barcelona, it was more like changing directions a lot. So I observing the outcome goals, I think they're good. We all got more information today. So thank you.
Do we want to say a small sum up what happened in the breakout rooms? Because then it's just, I mean, if there is any way just to say in big lines what were the topics, is that possible?
Maybe you can start and make an example of that.
Okay, I can. I mean, I saw Marc already moving, so. Okay, so I actually just thought I'm gonna be sitting in the Erasmus Plus room alone because it's a very boring thing, but finally it's not. We just had this nice talk because it turned out that Gianpaolo is already using Erasmus Plus for a project about like how you take care of yourself, and they were using photo and also juggling at the same time for this kind of self-care. And we just had with Hajni and Balázs with Slovakia, who are now establishing a private civil organization, which is going to be registered very soon, and they are very interested to give in Erasmus Plus projects in the future as well. So maybe we can cooperate with Slovakia as well. And yeah, and I actually realized that that Erasmus Plus is also good because we published our book last year, and we published the Craig book last year, the book of functional juggling, and also Lapo Botteri, you see there. We published his book as well, and also Adam and Katka in Czech Republic, who gonna be guests later on in this series. So finally, Erasmus Plus is like such a great thing, yeah. So I give on now to Marc, or who wants to continue.
Yeah, we had basically a very focused thing. First off, it was interesting for me to get a feeling of how these kind of breakout rooms work, because I never did this myself, like in a Zoom presentation, having these breakout rooms. So it was a new experience for me. And thank you, Craig, for jumping in and helping me to get this correctly started by letting the people introduce themselves, which is obviously a very good thing. And I wasn't so aware in the moment of it. So thanks for that. Basically, we talked mainly about how to start out with projects and the issues involved, like how to get money, how to get into certain kind of activities. So yes, this was like the main thing. And of course, getting to know a little bit about the people. Personally, I'm quite interested to hear more from Paul from Austria. He had a very interesting story to share about overachieving the goals and what happened by overachieving. So looking forward to hear more about this, maybe per email or whatever. So yes, that's like the short summary.
But I need your email address. It's not in the.
Oh, okay. So for anyone interested to get into contact, I just type it in the chat. But I'm pretty sure that Veronika will most likely provide them later, eventually. So, but I just typed them in the chat. There it is, to everyone interested in getting in contact.
Thank you very much.
We will include emails for both presenters, contact information in the emails. But if you want to contact sooner, you can copy that right now. CircA Barcelona, you guys want to tell us how your meeting went?
Okay, basically, we have organized a functional juggling party in Barcelona. No, we...
Second convention.
Okay, no. Well, they just wanted wanted to know how we started, where we were going to with this game, And then we were curious about some of the games that we created. So now we have to get in touch to tell them how to build it. And we are also very interested in hearing Veronika and Marc. So it would be nice so we can go to their room too. I think that's a very I need to say it because they are very interesting. So I think that we want to talk with them too. So how can we do that?
You can come back next week. You can come back next week. And
Okay.
next week we have Francesco Boni from Quat Props Italia, who's going to be sharing his investigations into like creating sub-disciplines within the functional juggling discipline, and also working more with like physical therapy. In Italy, the movement is more closely aligned with like sort of other professional industries. So he's going to share about that. And then the other guest is Paola Aviles from Knowledhe in Mexico, who's doing stuff in Mexico. And she'll be here to talk about that. So if you're around next week and you want to meet more people, hang out, we will be here same time, same place.
Yeah.
And thanks everyone for participating.
Yeah, I would like to add one thing. So to directly answer your question about how to hear about the other people, because I had exactly the same thing in my mind, like, oh, it would be interesting to ask you a couple questions about the games or the props. So I can't do it because I'm locked to my breakout room. So, I mean, the main intention of the symposium is to get to know other people. And like, I mean, develop networks is such a high term, but basically just get in contact. So the most basic idea is let's share just our contacts so we can get in contact outside of the symposium, because the symposium itself is just a vehicle to get us in contact, basically. So to get to know each other, and then we can basically go from there. So I would really love to get in contact to CircA De Artistas and hear more about the stuff you're doing, definitely, for sure. So.
Yay,
Muchas gracias.
Yeah, the same here. Marc.
Muchas gracias a Quat Props, muchas gracias a los partners, Erasmus, y por la invitación. Estamos muy agradecidas por darnos la oportunidad de presentarnos con la comunidad de malabaristas funcionales del mundo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you guys. I'm not sure if Craig or I'm finishing this event. Maybe Craig, if you have something to say.
I think I did it. I did my little thing. I think I already did it like twice, but because I wasn't sure where the ending was, I was like, okay. I'm trying to find the closing, but I think we're good. I think this went really well, and I'm looking forward to the next ones.
Yeah, it's a never-ending story.
Come back next week.
Yeah, so guys, you are totally welcome, even if you haven't registered for all of the part of the series. We welcome you back. We are very happy if you just spend your Wednesday nights with us, because as Craig said 2 months ago, what else would you be doing Wednesday evening, no? So this is your program now. And thank you for all of you for coming. Thank you, Craig, for your awesome leadership on this event. And thank you, Bendegus, and all the partners. And thank you, Erasmus Plus. And see you guys, hopefully all of you. And of course, bring your friends next time as well.